Right, okay, Lama. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to complete the last part of the factor market. Okay, the Lama. Last part of the factor market. It's a very small part, that is total earnings, total factor earnings, transfer earnings, and economic rent. Okay, the Lama. Even though it is a small part, there are so many past paper questions. It's a very small part, but sometimes they ask questions for 4 marks, 6 marks, sometimes MCQs. Okay, so the point that we are going to discuss today is really important, even though it's a small part. Okay, right. Right, press 1, total factor earnings. So here we are talking about factor market, right? Factor market mean it is the mechanism, right? Well established, well organized mechanism where factors of production are bought and sold, right? Buyers and sellers meet together to exchange factors of production, right? Land, labor, especially land, labor, capital, lamai, not entrepreneurship. It's not much practical, lamai. But anyway, uh, factors of production that includes 4: land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. Mainly here we talk about labor market and capital market, right? Total, our press concept is Lamai, total factor earnings. Total factor earnings, that is called TFE. Total factor earnings. That's very simple, Lamai, right? Total factor earnings mean uh, by employing a particular factors of production, how much total revenue we get or factor owners get. That is called total factor earnings, Lamai. Example, assume Lamai, for let's talk about workers, very, very familiar one, Lamai, right? We are very familiar with workers, second factors of production. For laborers, Lamai, assume one person earns, let's say, 200,000 per month by giving his or her skills of labor, experience to a business sector, private sector or public sector. Assume the monthly salary is 200,000. This 200,000 is the payment for that factors of production, Lamai. That 200,000 is called total factor earnings, right? How much this person has earned by employing his or her labor resources. You get what I said? Okay, the Lamai. Every factors of production has a transfer earnings, Lamai. I mean, sorry, total factor earnings. Example, capital, right? And land. Okay, the Lamai. And also entrepreneurship, Lamai. Entrepreneurs, example, assume the entrepreneur's total profit is 200,000 per month. That is the return for entrepreneurship. That is a return for the factors of production, which organizes and that takes the risk, right? Entrepreneurship. Okay, right. Read it. This is right. This is the total monetary value. This is the total monetary or nominal income. Nominal income earned by a given factor owner. My factor owner can be a labor. It can be a person providing capital. It might be entrepreneurship. Okay, the Lamai. It can be anything, any factors of production, right? Factor owner by providing the given factors of production towards a given productive activity at a specific rate or factor price during a given period of time. That is called total factor earnings lamai. How much you earn, right? How much someone earns by employing his or her factors of production lamai. That is the idea. Total earnings, total income from employing factors of production. That is the idea. Okay, the lamai. Next one, TFE, total factor earnings, generally consists of, there are two parts lamai, transfer earnings and economic rent. Transfer earnings and economic rent. Remember lamai, every the total factor earnings consists of two parts, right? First part is transfer earning, other one is economic rent. Okay, the lamai. Example, someone's salary lamai can be divided into two parts, right? The every one salary includes these two parts. One part is transfer earning, other one is the economic rent. Lamai, here economic rent mean not the, can you remember what is the reward for land lamai? What is the payment for land? If you use land resources, natural resources for our factors, sorry, the production process for the, we have to make a payment. That payment is called rent. That is something else, Lamai. This is something else. Economic rent means it's not the payment for land. No, 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 no. This is something else, Lamai. Right? Don't get mixed up. Okay? Right. Write down, Lamai, the equation. Transfer, sorry, total factor earnings. T T total factor earnings. Yeah, yes. Total factor earnings equals lamai. Transfer earnings, TE. Transfer earnings plus economic rent. Transfer earnings plus economic rent. TE mean lamai transfer earnings. Economic rent. RE mean economic rent. Economic rent. Okay. Write it down. Okay, the lamai. Right. Next one, lamai, transfer earnings. Right. Put a star mark and write down lamai. This is very simple, lamai. Transferring is the minimum requirement. Okay, the lamai. The minimum return expected by the factor owner to retain these factors of production, the current use lamai. Okay, minimum return. Right. Every factor owner expects a minimum return for factors of production. If he or she does not get the minimum return, by employing that factors of production definitely, okay, the lamai, that factor owner will shift these resources to something else. Okay, the lamai. So remember, this is called minimum payment. Minimum payment expected by the factor owner for the factors, relevant factors, the given factors of production. That is called transferring. Okay, the lamai. Put a star mark and write down the minimum payment. Transfer earnings, write down the minimum payment. Write down my transfer earnings. Transfer earnings. TE. Transfer earnings. Put a star mark and write down lamai. The minimum payment. The minimum payment the minimum payment, or we can say lamai price, minimum payment or price or return, price or return, return expected, expected by a factor owner lamai, by a factor owner, by a factor owner to continue, to continue, or we can say put retain, retain the given factors of production, the given factors of the given factors of production, given factors of production, given factors of production in its present use lamai, present, in its present use. This is called the transfer earnings. This is called the transfer, right? Highlight lamai the minimum expected return, minimum. Example lamai, after A levels, so after completing your degree, you have to go to a workplace lamai. Okay, when you become employed lamai, assume you work as someone's. Okay, you can add your profession. That's going to be. So then when you get a job lamai, right? When you go to a job, right? Maybe from 8 to 5, when you do that ordinary job, you expect a minimum return lamai, right? I would say, sir, to work as marketing manager, I want minimum 300,000 per month, right? Otherwise, I won't work. I can do my something else, right? Myself or my own business lamai. I can utilize my resources or labor skills to do something else. So this is the minimum expected, sir. This is the minimum expected amount. Okay, the lamai. You know that amount, lamai, right? Your mind says, expect at least this much, right? You should, according to, I mean, based on your skills and experience, education, right? I should receive minimum this value. That is called transfer earnings, lamai. You get what I said? Okay, the lamai. If the person or factor owners don't get the minimum payment expected to the, he's not going to retain or continue that factors of production in its present use. Okay, the lamai. What a minimum expectation එක හම්බුනේ නැත්නම් ඔයා වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ ළමයි. හරිද? ජොබ් එක දාලා ගෙදර එනවා. අයියෝ. හරියන්නේ නැහැ මට අපරාධේ. මොකද්ද මේ? ඒක තමයි minimum expectation එකක් තියෙනවා ළමයි. This is not for goods and services. This is for factors of product. That is called transfer. Very simple, Lamai. If you have something excess, I mean, after deducting total transfer earning, if you have something excess in your salary, that is called economic rent. That is called economic rent. Okay, I'll give you one example, Lamai. This is very
Recording stopped.
Give me 1 minute.
Recording in progress.
Right. I'll give you my personal experience lamai. Right. I'm talking about 2022 financial crisis. This incident happened during the financial crisis. Okay, Sri Lankan financial economic crisis. Lamai, I had a friend. His name is Priyanjana. Priyanjana. Okay, the Lamai. He had been working as an accountant for very famous firm in Sri Lanka for more than 5 years. Lamai. More than 5 years. Right? Assume Lamai 2017 to 2022. Accountant. Okay, the Lamai. Chartered qualified. He has no degree, Lamai, right? Chartered qualified and became chartered accountant. Okay, right. Right. So where we are is this very close friend. Okay, the Lamai, very, very close, right? He shared everything with me, personal thing and everything. Right. So I know this story very well. Lamai, 2022, assume the month, January, Lamai, his salary was 300,000. Salary was 300,000 LKR. Okay, the Lamai. Then Lamai, due to this financial crisis, the firm started making losses. Okay, the Lamai, the firm did not function well during this financial crisis. Then Lamai, their revenue fell down and cost went up due to that electricity, the higher tariff, sorry, that higher electricity tariff and the uncertainty. Okay, the Lamai, you can remember, I think that during financial crisis, prices of everything went up, Lamai. Okay, kept on rising. So then Buddha, the firm was not able to survive in the market, right? Finally, the firm started making losses. Then Buddha, there was a salary cut. All workers, some workers were laid off. Okay, the Lamai, removed from the organization to reduce the cost, Lamai. Then the Priyanjan's salary also was decreased, Lamai, reduced by the firm, right? Then Priyanjan's salary, this accountant salary, decreased to 250,000, Lamai. 50,000 salary cut. 50,000 salary cut. Tell me, Lamai, a person who earns 300,000 now gets only 250,000. Okay, the Lamai. Is he happy or unhappy, Lamai? Yes. Do you like to see a salary cut as a worker, Lamai? Dipna?
No.
No, no one likes to see such a salary cut, Lamai. Then he was really disappointed, Lamai, right? අයියෝ එයා කිව්වා ඇවිල්ලා පාවෙලා තියෙන්නේ බලනවා මේ 300 මේ හරි අමාරුයි මේවා වැඩ දැන් 250,000 තේරුණා අපි වැඩ කරනවා උදේ ඉඳලා හවස වෙනකන් සමහරලාට ටයිම් එකක් නැහැ හරිද he was really disappointed lamai right but listen very carefully lamai he did not leave the firm at this moment lamai he was disappointed yes okay the lamai he was not happy at all but he kept going okay the lamai he kept working there did you get what I said okay the lamai he did not leave the firm okay the lamai බැන බැන හරි යනවා උදේට හරි අවුලෙන් යන්නේ ළමයි ක්ලියර්ද සමහරවිට අර පවර් කට්ස් එහෙමත් තියෙනවා බැන බැන යනවා උදේ වැඩට හැබැයි එයා මේ නතර කරේ නෑ එයා දිගටම ගියා ළමයි dissatisfied තමයි really disappointed but kept working at the firm ළමයි okay the ළමයි right then Buddha, after again 1 or 2 months situation turn from bad to worse okay the lamai the firm started making more losses lamai more losses then firm had to reduce the salaries of all workers, then the accountant salary also decreases to, I can't remember that value exactly. Assume it's 200,000 lama, 250,000, 200. 225,000. Okay, now Priyanjan's salary, accountant salary is 250. Right? He was more disappointed. Lama. Clear. I think on the term, right? Really disappointed. Okay, the Lamai. At this moment, Lamai, at this point, Priyanjana was really disappointed and uh, decided to leave the firm. Decided to leave the firm, and finally, he went to UK, Lamai. He went to UK with his wife, 2022. Okay, the Lamai. You can look at the Priyanjana, this accountant, decided to leave the firm when his salary was decreased to 225,000, right? When he receives 225,000, he decided to leave the firm. Okay, the Lamai. So then tell me, Buddha, how much the minimum expectation of this accountant? Oh, sorry, wait, 1 minute, please. Assume the total salary. Look at this 300,000. Right. It's mean Lamai when Priyanjana salary, right? When Priyanjana's salary was 225,000, he stopped working there. It means Lamai, the Priyanjana's minimum expectation. Priyanjana's minimum expectation is 225, right? 225,000. This is called transfer earnings now. This is called transfer earnings. Not 250,000 Lamai, because 250,000, when he got 250,000, he kept on working Lamai, right? He did not leave the firm. Okay, the Lamai. He gave up the job once he got only 225,000 Lamai. Did you get what I said? So this is the minimum expectation Lamai. 200 transfer earnings, 225,000. ඕකේද ළමයි? ඒ කියන්නේ එයා ගියේ ළමයි. මේ මෙතෙන්ට සැලරි එක ඩික්‍රීස් වෙද්දී එයාට බෑ තවත් බෑරක් කරන්න බෑ. එයා අතෑරලා යන්න ගියා. Clearද? That is the minimum expectation of this employee, 225,000. Clearද ළමයි? Then ළමයි, if you analyze 300,000 salary, 300,000 salary is amount, we can divide this 300,000 into two parts ළමයි. First one is 225,000. 225,000. This is the minimum expectation included in 300,000. This is called total transfer earnings. This is total transfer earnings. This is total transfer, factor earnings. Total factor earnings. Okay, the lamai. Then 225,000 is transfer earnings. Lamai. Punara, how much excess in 300,000? Other than 225,000?
$75,000.
75,000. That 75,000 is called what? Economic rent. 75,000 is called economic rent. You get what I said? This is a simple idea of transfer earnings and okay, the lama. If you earn something excess, if you have earned something excess, after deducting total transfer earnings, your minimum expectation for that is called economic rate of the factors of. Get what I say? Okay, the lama. I think it's clear. Okay. You want to write this down. Right. Next point. If the factor owner is unable to ළමයි earn unable to earn minimum. Oh, earn has gone somewhere else. Come here. Earn minimum amount for the current occupation of the factor. They will transfer, shift the factor to another use or occupation which would pay the set minimum return. Okay, the lamai. That's why that Priyanjana, okay, the lamai, the friend transferred his skills to another job or another country or okay, the lamai. The reason is lamai, the he couldn't earn the minimum expectation of the factors of production. Okay, the lamai. So if minimum expectation is not given to a particular worker of particular factors of production, Buddha, definitely that worker will shift to another job or factors of production will be transferred to another industry. I mean, another use. Okay, the lamai. Right. Next point. Alternatively, this is the opportunity cost. Yes, this is the opportunity cost, lamai. This is the opportunity cost of given factors of production. Draws attention parallel with. I'll explain this point later. Then, lamai, economic rent. You can see that economic rent or return earned by the owner of a certain factors of production which exceeds the minimum return level. හරිද? ඔයාගේ total salary එකේ minimum expectation එකට වැඩියෙන් වැඩිපුර කීයක් හරි තියෙනවා. excess amount එකක් තියෙනවා නේ. ඒක තමයි economic rent. Okay, ද ළමයි? Which would make the factor owner to continue employing or retain the given factors of production in present use. Right? Alternatively, this is the income earned by the owner of given factor which exceeds the opportunity cost or transfer earnings of the given factors of production. Okay, the lamai. How much you have excess. Right? Then lamai, we can show this both economic rent and transfer earnings on one diagram. One diagram. I think graph is in the another. Right here. Economic rent versus transfer payment, Putha, we can show these two parts on a diagram. Right? I'll use the whiteboard. Lamai. Zero, here lamai quantity and say employment or quantity. Here lamai, let's say wage lamai. Wage. I'm talking about salary. Okay, wage. I mean labor as a factors of production. lamai, this is demand for labor. This equals lamai marginal revenue product. Can you remember last day's Wednesday's lesson lamai? Okay, demand for labor equals marginal revenue product. Okay, the lamai price into marginal product of the worker. Okay, right. Then with the labor supply curve is, it should be upward sloping curve, but after a particular point Buddha, it has a bending shape, backward bending shape. But I'm not going to show this backward bending shape. I'll just draw a normal upward sloping supply. Okay, the lamai. This is labor demand. This is labor supply. Lamai, this is the wage rate, equilibrium wage rate. Equilibrium wage rate. Assume Buddha, equilibrium wage rate is $15 per hour. $15 per hour. Assume that this person works, let's say, 20 hours per week. This is not Sri Lanka, assume another country. Okay, the lamai. This is number of hours employment or hours of working or something, right? 20 hours. Okay, the lamai. How much the salary? Sorry, the wage rate, $15. This is the number of hours is willing to work. Dipna, tell me how much the total salary lamai, how much the total earnings or total factor earnings of this worker. How to calculate lamai? He works 20 hours per week at $15 per hour. How much the total earnings? How to calculate total earnings lamai? Punara, total factor earnings. $15 per hour. Working 20 hours, then total earning should be with that $300. You get what I said? It's like total revenue of the firm lamai. Total factor earnings equals $300. $300. Okay, the lamai. Put that this rectangle, rectangular shape, because $15 mean this height and the 20 mean this distance lamai, right? So this distance, the rectangular shape shows the total factor earnings lamai. Total factor earnings. Total factor earnings. Okay, the lamai. Then Buddha, we can divide this rectangular shape into two parts. First one is this the shape which is below the supply curve. This one. Lamai, this is the minimum expectation of the factor owner. Minimum expectation means this is called transfer earnings. Lamai. Transfer earnings. If you have something excess, this is called economic rate. This is called economic rate. Okay, the Lamai. The value which exceeds transfer earning is called economic rate. Okay, the Lamai. So if I draw it again, wage, number of working hours. Okay, the my working hours. This is demand for labor. This is supply of labor. This is the equilibrium wage rate. Equilibrium wage rate. So this rectangular shape shows the total earnings. Total factor earnings equals. There are two parts now. This part shows the minimum expectation. It means this should be the transfer earnings. Okay, the lamai. If you have something excess, I mean the amount which exceeds transfer earnings or minimum expectation, that is called economic rate. Are you okay with this, Lamai? Dipna, Punara?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Can you write down, copy this down? Transfer earnings equals, sorry, total factor earnings equal transfer earning plus economic rate. To draw this diagram, page number 28. On page number 28. Let me know once you're done.
Done, sir.
Done. Dipna?
Done, sir.
Good. Lamai, can you remember producer surplus in the goods and service market? There's a not the same concept, but there's a connection with that, right? Similar thing. In the goods and service market, Lamai, price, quantity, this is a supply curve, this is demand curve, Lamai. This is equilibrium price and quantity, P1 and Q1. Okay, the Lamai. Dipna, the which part shows the producer surplus? Where is the producer surplus on this diagram?
Below the equilibrium price and above the supply curve.
Very good, right? Below the equilibrium price and above the supply curve. This is the producer surplus, right? This is the producer surplus, PS. What is this? Last day I taught you. What is this? Can anyone tell me what is this? The area which is below the supply curve, below the supply curve up to Q2, Q1 quantity. Yeah. What is that? Now, how to calculate? I gave you a separate equation to calculate producer surplus. My producer surplus equals total revenue minus what is other one? Punara? Total revenue minus total variable cost. Total variable cost. Right? So remember, this part shows the total variable cost. Right? Producer surplus is the amount which exceeds total variable cost. Total variable cost. Then Buddha, can you remember that point? If that if total variable cost is not covered from the price of the product, Lamai, that's why firm is going to shut down the operation. You get what I said? So minimum expectation of producer is the total variable cost. Okay, the Lamai. After covering total variable cost of production, if producer has something excess, that is called producer surplus. Did you get what I said, Lamai? This is for goods and service market. Goods and service market. Goods and service market. Okay, the Lamai. In the factor market, Lamai, same thing. This is factor market, Lamai. Labor, capital. This is factor market. Wage and quantity of labor, so we can say employment. This is the demand for factor of production. This is supply. This is the equilibrium wage rate, Lamai. Right? This is the quantity, not quantity. Let's say L1. This is W1. Okay, the Lamai. Then Lamai, this is the minimum expectation of worker. That is called transfer earnings. Okay, the Lamai. The amount which exceeds transfer earnings, right, is called economic rent. Economic rent. Same concept, Lamai. Right? If producer has something excess after deducting total variable cost, that is called producer surplus. In the factor market, if factor owner earns something excess, or the amount which exceeds the minimum expectation is called not the producer surplus, that is called economic rent. Right? It's mean, Lamai, producer surplus and economic rent are equal. Equal mean not concept wise, so the same idea. Okay, the Lamai. Producer surplus is the excess amount of producer in the goods and service market. Economic rent is the excess amount. Okay, the amount which exceeds the minimum expectation of entrepreneur. Oh, sorry, not entrepreneur, the factors of production. And Lamai, in the goods and service market, the minimum expectation is called total variable cost. Total variable cost. In the factor market, minimum expectation of factor owner is called transfer. Did you get what I said, Lamai? Dipna, Punara, are you okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the Lamai.
Yes, sir.
Right. If you want, I think it's better to write this down. Right, this is goods and service market, this is factor market. Same concept, okay, but I mean same idea, but conceptually they are different. Two markets, that's the difference now. Total variable cost and producer surplus are in the goods and service market. We use these two words, transfer earnings and economic rent, in the factor market. අද ගෙදර ගිහිල්ලා අහන්න ළමයි. Ask from your parents how much the minimum expect. How much you minimum? I mean, how much do you expect? The minimum expectation of your employment. I mean, to work there, to work at the current place, how much do you expect minimum? Okay, the level. That is called transfer earnings. If your parents, definitely they should be earning something more than their minimum expectation. Shall we move on, Lamai? Yes?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Deepna?
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Next point, Lamai. The last point is really important. Last. Look at the cute Lamai. Right. Lamai, this is more important point, right? The proportion of transfer earnings and economic rent within factor earnings will depend on the price elasticity of supply with regard to given factors of production, Lamai. Right? The proportion of, you know, that total transfer earnings lamai, sorry, total factor earnings, total salary or total factor earnings has two components. What are the two components? First one is transfer earnings, other one is economic rent lamai. Economic rent. Okay, the lamai. In this case, the economic rent and transfer earnings both are 50%. You get what I said? In my example, that accountant's story, Lamai, I think 75,000 was the transfer earnings. No, economic rent. Okay, the Lamai. It means 1/4, the Lamai. Yes. His economic rent part is 25%. This is economic rent. 75% of his salary is the transfer earnings. Transfer earnings. Transfer earnings is 75%. You get what I said, Lamai? In first example, Lamai, transfer earnings 50% plus economic rent also 50%. Here, transfer earnings 25%, economic rent is, transfer earnings 75%, economic rent is 25%. You get what I said? So remember, the distribution, how total earnings is distributed among transfer earnings and economic rent depends on the price elasticity of supply. Price elasticity of supply of the given factors of production, right? So remember, in some cases, the total earnings consists of only transfer earnings. Did you get what I said? No economic rent. In some cases, 50-50. In some situations, we can see the total earnings equals only economic rent. Did you get what I said, That depends on the elasticity of the factors of production. Some factors of production are inelastic, supply is inelastic. Some are relatively elastic supply. Some factors of production are perfectly elastic. Some are perfectly inelastic. So the proportion of, right, the proportion or distribution of total income between transfer earnings and economic rent depends on the relative elasticity, supply elasticity of action. Okay, the Lama. Right. I think it's clear for you. Next one. Right. Lamai, look at page number 29. Page number 29. Page number 29. Uh, okay, the Lamai, right? Press diagram, Lamai. Write down. We are going to draw 4 diagrams there. Write down, Lamai. First one is when P is 0, Lamai. First one is P is 0. Price elasticity of supply or factors of production, not the final good, Lamai. Right? Price elasticity, supply, supply elasticity of the factors of production. Right? Assume Lamai it's zero. No, let's say this is infinite. Second one, PS is elasticity is let's say Lamai 0. Punara, infinite mean perfectly elastic supply. Dipna, if it is 0,
Perfectly inelastic
very
supply.
good. Perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. Okay, the Lamai. I want you to draw. Okay, the Lamai. And here supply is perfectly elastic, Lamai. This is the labor supply curve. Demand is normal curve, Lamai. Normal demand curve. Okay, the Lamai. Here is the diagram. Here, supply of factors of production is perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic means, Lamai, this is the supply. Normal demand curve, Lamai. Clear? Okay, the Lamai. Right. Fourth one, Lamai. Third one is PS is this is more than 1. Punara, if it is more than 1, what is the category? To which category does it belong?
Elastic supply.
Huh?
Elastic supply.
Elastic. Okay, the Lamai. Then here we are going to draw the diagram for elastic. Okay, when supply of factors of production is really relatively elastic, right? How these two, I mean, total factor earnings is distributed among transfer earnings and economic rate. Okay, the Lamai. The last one is Lamai PS. PS is less than 1. Less than 1 mean inelastic. Inelastic. Okay, the Lamai. If you want, you can draw the unitary one also, Lamai. In the unitary one, the both are equal, right? Transfer earnings and economic rent are equal. Okay, Lamai. Let's get it done. It's a just idea. You can draw it proper way. I'll use the whiteboard. Easy for me. Right, first one lamai. Supply is, we can say, perfectly elastic. Perfectly inelastic. No, elastic. Perfectly elastic supply. Perfectly elastic supply. In the perfectly elastic supply, this is weight, this is L, 0. My supply curve is parallel to the quantity axis. This is the labor supply curve. Labor supply curve. Okay, the lamai. This is the labor demand curve. Demand for labor. Then lamai, you can see this is the L1. This is the wage rate, lamai. Wage rate. Then lamai, how to calculate total factor earnings, lamai. This distance multiplied by quantity. It means this, the shaded distance, this one. It's a rectangular shape. This is the, so lamai, look at the board, I'll explain this point. Listen. This is total factor earnings, lamai. Total factor earnings. Lamai, here, remember, total factor earnings only consists of lamai transfer earnings. Okay, the lamai. Here, total total factor earnings, total earnings of the factors of production exactly equals transfer earnings. What does it mean, lamai? What does it mean? This worker gets the only minimum expectation. Listen very carefully, lamai. 2025 paper, there was a question, MCQ one. Listen. Okay, the lamai. Here, the total earnings of the factors of production equals transfer earning. What does it mean, lamai? It's mean that this worker gets the only minimum return from the job. Not, okay, the lamai. No any single sense, the sense excess. You get what I said? Okay, the lamai. Remember, lamai, this type of elasticities, this perfectly elastic supply of labor can be seen, lamai, when you are unskilled, lamai. Assume there is a worker, uneducated and not much skills, lamai, no experience. Okay, the lamai. Then lamai, companies or businesses try to pay only the minimum amount of or minimum expected amount by the worker. Here lamai, workers' ability to negotiate or bargaining power of the worker is 0. Okay, the lamai. මෙයාට bargain කරන්න බෑ. එතකොට බලන්න ළමයි. Then Uda, remember, everyone has to, right? I mean, normally, right? Usually everyone has to start his or her career from this point. Example, I can remember lamai, when I press job. Yeah, I work at audit firm lamai 2018, 17. Okay, lamai. Then I had no any negotiation power, lamai. Right? Negotiating power, I can't negotiate. Okay, the lamai. At the interview, Buddha, they said this is the monthly salary. Okay, this is a very low amount, lamai, 6,000 or something. 5,000. Audit firms, anyway, the salaries are really low. Okay, the lamai. So 6,000. That, I mean, at that point, Buddha, I had no experience, right? I was in trustee, lamai, when I went to audit firms. Audit firms, right? Sorry, the my negotiating power, bargaining power was 0, not at all, lamai. Right? I had to accept whatever salary, okay, the lamai, that firms gave to me. They said 6,000. Are you okay? Karanna deyak naha, mang weda karanna. Clear? Okay, the lamai. That is the, here the idea is, lamai, the workers do not have any ability or the we can say the bargaining power. Okay, the lamai. This type of elasticity, this type of situation, common for lamai government workers. Government workers. Okay, the lamai. Then we can say the basic labor or daily wage earners, basic labor. Basic labor. Okay, the lamai. එයා දන්නවා right. මෙයාට මෙයා අපි හිතමු ඔයාගේ minimum expectation එක 50,000 නම් එයා එහෙම වැඩිපුර දෙන්නේ නැහැ ළමයි. ඔයාට 50,000 දීලා බලන්න ඔයාව තියාගන්න. Clear ද ළමයි? අනිත් එක මේ ඔයාට තමයි options නැත්තේ. හොඳේ. Organization the organization can hire any number of workers at W1 salary ළමයි. You get what I say? There are so many workers in the market. They can hire. That's why this perfectly elastic lamai. What does it mean? They can hire any number of workers. Okay, the lamai at the W1 salary. Did you get what I said? Here, lamai worker is really disappointed, but worker does not have any option. Lamai does not have any. Worker can't do anything. Lamai. The only option is to work for the minimum salary. While working Buddha, he can get the experience and knowledge and other, maybe other qualification. Then he or she can jump into another job. You get what I said, Lamai? Okay. Here the worker's ability is really low. Okay, the Lamai. No experience, no not much educated, and also no any competencies. Okay, the Lamai. So finally, Buddha, I can say that everyone has to, everyone has to start the career at this point. Gradually, Buddha, the time to time, step by step, you can develop your career. Okay, the Lamai, right. Write this down. Here, total transfer earning equals, total factor earnings equal transfer earnings. This means Buddha, workers are given the only minimum amount, not anything excess. Examples write down for the government workers. Government workers' salaries are really low. The reason is, Lamai, the government knows that. Okay, this is the minimum expectation. If we give them the minimum expectation, we can keep them for long period of time. Okay, the Lamai, basic workers, laborers. Okay, the Lamai. Right. Let me know once you are done.
Done.
Done. Punara, shall we move on?
Okay, sir.
So the next one is perfectly inelastic supply of labor. Perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. Lamai, here, workers' negotiating power, bargaining power is 100%. Okay, the Lamai. Organization does not have, the company does not have any power. Worker is this is a superior worker, Lamai, right? Exceptional superior workers have the perfectly inelastic. So that your career can, you can end up in your career at this point. At least if you can come to, you know, this point at age 40, 45 or before that, you're brilliant, lamai. You can start your career at press point, lamai, with perfectly elastic. Then gradually, with experience and knowledge, you can come to that superior point, lamai. Okay, the lamai, right? What happens here? Here, lamai, this is wage rate, this is employment, 0. Here, lamai, the supply is perfectly inelastic mean puta no options, right? The company does not have any option. Company has to hire. If company wants to hire, company has to hire. No options. Whatever salary, lamai, you can ask any salary, right? Okay, I'll come and work. This is my expectation. Okay, the lamai, I need that this much of salary. That is the idea. Okay, the lamai, right? This is labor supply. This is normal labor demand curve. Okay, the lamai. This is the equilibrium wage rate, W1. This is L1. Here, lamai, total earnings. Total earnings is only economic rent, lamai. Remember. Here, total earnings equals only economic rent. No minimum expectation. Lamai, this very famous example is that world class athletes, lamai. Cristiano Ronaldo, cricketers, okay, the lamai. Unless they get the full payment, Buddha, they don't perform. Or advertisement, right? If you want to get one person, that world class actors, lamai. Okay, the lamai. If you want to get some, such superior people to, let's say, advertisement or something, Buddha, you have to pay the full amount. No negotiation. Right? ඔයාට කියන්න බයියෝ මෙහෙම දෙන්න අපිට මෙහෙම කරන්න බැරිද එහෙම නෑ ළමයි. Clear? You have to pay the full amount, the whatever amount that person asked for. Get what I said, lamai? Right? Example right now, lamai. Sport status. Then, lamai, we can say high profile athletes. Movie stars. Okay, the lamai. In Sri Lanka, Buddha, there are some workers, CEOs. Okay, the lamai. There are very, very exceptional, superior workers. Okay, the lamai. Characters, right? So to get these workers employed, we have to pay the full amount, right? We can't negotiate. Sport status, high profile athletes, and movie stars. This is very possible question actually. In the exam, I have never seen a question from this part. Lama, shall we move on?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Dipna?
Okay, sir.
Buddha, write down example as well. Sport status, high profile athletes and movie stars. Right. Then Buddha, you can get other two done. What is other one? Next one. Elastic supply. Am I? Elastic supply. Labor has elastic supply. Okay, the lama. Elastic mean Buddha, not perfectly elastic, elastic. Here Buddha, worker has the a bit of power, small power, negotiation or that the bargaining power. It means Buddha, here worker is not much skilled, but up to a certain level, worker has some knowledge and experience. Okay, the lama. Right. I would say Buddha, anyone's career, this is a second stage. First stage is the very basic stage is the perfectly elastic. Then Buddha, with time and knowledge and experience, the person becomes the elastic supply, that second category. Okay, the lama. Demand is normal demand curve, lama. L and wage. Lama, elastic supply, Dipna. Shape of the elastic supply curve, how is it going? If supply is relatively elastic, how is the shape, Buddha? The elasticity lesson, Lamai. Per elastic supply, Dipna, if supply is elastic, Buddha, the supply curve starts with negative intersect. Negative intersect. Okay, the Buddha. You get what I said? Dipna, you okay with this? Dipna, I can't hear you. Are you okay with this, Buddha? Per elastic supply?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Okay, this is labor supply. Then, Buddha, this is the equilibrium. P1 and L1. Now, Lamai, you can see this is the transferring part. This is transferring. This is small part is the economic rent. This one. This is economic rent. Here, Lama, you can see when supply is elastic, relatively elastic, Lama, transfer earning is greater than economic rent. Transfer earning is greater than economic rent. Transfer earning is greater than economic. Worker gets something excess, but it's not a bigger amount, it's a small amount. Now the organization has to pay something excess than the minimum expectation of workers. Otherwise, the worker will shift to another job or another place or okay, the Shall we move on or need more time?
Done, sir.
Done. Dipna? So if you need more time, no problem. Take time and get it done. No issue.
Need more time, sir.
Okay, take time. Punara, you can complete other one also. That relatively inelastic supply.
Sir, what are the examples for the elastic supply?
Puta, we can't say exactly these are the examples, but here the point is, Lamai, the worker has a bit of bargaining power. This is a second stage of, second stage of anyone's career. We can say, no exact examples. We can say, Lamai, that no exact examples, depends on the situation. Okay. But anyway, here the point is, Lamai, the organizations still have more options with them, right? There are so many workers available in the market. But anyway, this person has a bit bargaining power as well. So if organization wants to keep this worker at present use, Lamai, organization has to pay something excess. Okay, the more than what he expects, Lamai, right?
Done, sir.
Okay, right. Next one, Buddha, inelastic supply. For inelastic supply also, Buddha, we can't say examples. These are the examples. This should be the example. No, it depends on the worker and the worker's experience and knowledge and competencies. Okay, the Lamai. Right. Fourth one, yes. W demand for labor. Now, the supply is relatively inelastic. Relatively inelastic means starts with a positive intercept. This is the supply. Page L. Here, Buddha, you can see that the minimum expectation is really low. It is lower than the economic rent. This is the area below the supply curve is the transfer needs. This is economic rent. You can see that economic rent part is bigger than transfer need area. Okay, the lower. This is economic rent. Here, the economic rent is greater than transfer. Here, work has become more experienced and knowledgeable. Okay, the lama. I would say that this is the fourth stage of first one, second one, fourth stage of anyone's career. Lama. I did discuss third stage. Third stage is a unitary one, Lama. In the unitary category, both transfer earnings and economic rent are equal. Okay, the Lama. In this case, the organization has to pay more, right? The, mo- the bigger amount, right? The much higher amount to keep this worker uh, in current use. Okay, the lamai. I mean, company has to pay bigger amount, which more than the minimum expectation of the worker. Okay, the lamai. The Ismin Puda here, the idea is the salary of worker is really high. Okay, the lamai. The worker is asking, really high salary. I need this much. I need 1 million, 2 million. There are some CEOs, chief executive officers, they earn more than 10 million per month in Sri Lanka, lamai. Okay, that much of superior lamai knowledge, management. Okay, the lamai, that ability to take the risk mean not the business risk. I mean the organization ability to the handle stress. Okay, the lamai. I've seen some lecturers lamai. They're really doctors, professors. They're really educated, and also their knowledge, experience are superior. We have to pay the big amount to keep them in the present use. If not, no excuse, no any argument for that. Definitely they will move to another option. These workers are not like the proper. I mean that well, the famous athletes and movie stars, lamai. Not up to that level, lamai. These workers are not like that. These workers don't have such a power. Okay, the lamai, but significant power they have. Okay, the lamai. Remember, Buddha, in that the career doesn't matter. You can choose any career, any profession. Okay, the Buddha. In the profession, you should be strong enough to make your own path. Lamai. To get what I say. Okay, the lamai. One day you will start your career, lamai, the job market, or as an entrepreneur, or wherever you start, but that starting point is not the matter. Okay, that ending point is the most important, right? If you have a proper plan and no need to be like much skill. There are some people who are very talented. Yeah, we need talent also, but if you can work continuously and if you have a proper plan, okay, the lamai, discipline, special in your working life. This lesson is really important, Buddha, right? Working life, you can come to this point, lamai. Okay, not only this place, you can reach the highest, that is perfectly inelastic position. Okay, the lamai, right? Shall we move on? Need more time, Deepna?
Done, sir.
Done. Punara?
Dance.
Done. Okay, Lamai, I haven't drawn that per unitary category, Lamai. In the unitary, how is it distributed, Lamai? Unitary supply means supply, if supply is unitary, Lamai, this is unitary supply, this is demand. Here, Lamai, both transfer earnings and economic rent are equal. Okay, the Lamai. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's end of the session, Lamai. I would say perfectly, sir. This is the very, this is the, I mean, the graph for very basic workers, lamai, very, I mean, basic laborers and government workers. Here, Buddha, the workers do not have much skills, right? You and me also, Buddha. I started my career at this point, to be honest. Okay, and then Buddha, with experience, you can come to not this one. This is the last one. This place. Okay, the lamai. Now you have a bit of experience. You can negotiate with your company, organization. Buddha, I need this much. Okay, they can see that, right? They can see, oh, you're getting better, right? You're now experienced, and you can work, right? You can do something, you can take a risk, you can handle the stress very well. So you're a very, unique person now. So we have to pay this much, at least this much, to keep you in the business, I mean, in the organization, at the working place, right? This is second stage. Third stage is unitary, Buddha. This is fourth one. Now you have more experience, and you can have more negotiating or the bargaining power. Okay, the lamai. The finally, Buddha, everyone's goal should be to achieve perfectly inelastic. This one. Okay, the lamai. Metan options na lamai. You are superior man. No any alternatives available in the job market. Companies වලට options නෑ. ඔයාව hire කරන්නම වෙනවා. හරිද? ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපිට මේක පුළුවන් ළමයට ස්පෝර්ට් ස්ටේටස්. දැන් රොනාල්ඩෝ කෙනෙක් ආයේ රොනාල්ඩෝස්ලා නෑනේ ළමයි. ක්ලියර්ද? විරාත් කෝලි යා විතරයි ඉන්නේ. හරිද? දා ඕල්ටර්නේටිව්ස් නෑ ළමයි. ක්ලියර්? ඕල්ටර්නේටිව්ස් නෑ. ඒකයි මේක මේ perfectly elastic. sorry මේ inelastic. Movie stars ළමයි. Movie starsලා එහෙම කවුරුත් නෑ ළමයි. එයා ඕනි නම් එයාම අපිට ගන්න වෙනවා. ෆිල්ම් එකකට නේද එයා ඕනි නම් දැන් සමහර අය ඉන්න ළමයි යාලා ෆිල්ම්ස් වලට මේ ඇක්ට් කරන්නේ නැහැ ඒ එච්චර ක්වොලිටි ළමයි හරි සුපීරියර් බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එකක් යාලා හදන් ඉන්නේ රයිට් මම මේ වගේ විතරයි ඇක්ට් කරන්නේ මේ මේක මට මේ පේමන්ට් එක ඕනි ළමයි clear unless they get the payment for that they won't perform that is the idea right that is an end of the lesson ළමයි right there are some two past paper questions you can do right. Right, 2021. This is really simple question now. Past way. Right. One minute, please, Lamai. Yeah, you can give a try, Buddha. Yeah, past paper questions, level 2021. A software engineer who was earning a salary of 200,000 per month decided to become an entrepreneur and started her own software development firm in which she earns 500,000 per month. 500,000 per month. What is the entrepreneur's transferring lamai? Because now he's an entrepreneur. This software engineer has left the job and started his own business. And finally, the total profit of the entrepreneur, I mean, this software engineering firm is 500,000. Okay, the lamai. So the 500,000 is the total factor earnings. Total factor earnings. Total factor earnings. Okay, the lamai. Unara, how much the minimum expectation of this entrepreneur?
500,000.
How much?
500,000.
No, minimum expectation. Buddha. Minimum expectation of the entrepreneur. 500,000 is the total payment, total earnings.
200,000.
200,000 because Buddha, then he resigned from the job and started this business. Okay, the lamai. So, I mean, from previous occupation, from previous job, Buddha, he was earning minimum 200,000. Right? So, now he has started this the business with by sacrificing this 200,000 income that he could have earned. So this is the minimum expectation of doing this software engineering firm, Lamai. You get what I said? Okay, the Lamai. So here the minimum expectation of entrepreneur is 200,000. අයියා ඒක දාලා නෙන්නේ ළමයි. එයාට ඒ ගානවත් නේද? මේ business එකෙන් හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් වැඩක් නැහැ නේ. මෙයාගේ minimum expectation එක 200,000. minimum expect 200,000 වත් මෙයාට මේ software firm එකෙන් හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් profit එක නැත්නම් ළමයි, then definitely he will jump to another job ළමයි නේද? Because in the working place, I mean in terms of working, in terms of the employment, he can work minimum 200,000 ළමයි, right? So when he starts the business, he gives up or the sacrifice 200,000 salary. So this is the minimum expectation of the entrepreneur or the person who has started this software engineering firm. Okay, the lamai. So answers, what is the entrepreneur's transfer earning is 200,000. That is the salary which he earned from original, I mean, first working place, 200,000. Dipna, are you okay with this?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next one, Lamai. Does entrepreneur earn an economic rent? Explain your answer. Dipna, what would you say?
Economic rent is earned and it's 300,000.
300,000, yes. Yes, Buddha, because this is the total earnings. Out of 500,000, Buddha, 200,000 is the minimum expectation, transferred. Then other 300,000 included in 500,000 should be the economic rent. It means Buddha, this person has been able to earn something excess than his minimum expectation. Okay, the Lama. It's very profitable business now. Profitable business. Lamai, from entrepreneur's point of view, can you give me an alternative word for this? The minimum expectation of entrepreneur.
Normal profit.
Normal profit. Very good. Okay, the Lamai. So remember, this is the normal profit. Normal profit. This is the normal profit. I can't remember the year exactly. There was a past paper question asking, what was the difference between normal profit and transfer earnings? Normal profit and transfer earnings. So that you can make your own answer for second question. Does this entrepreneur earn an economic rent? Explain your answer. You can say yes, because minimum expectation is 200,000, but this firm earns 500,000. So there's 300,000 excess. That excess amount, or the amount which exceeds minimum expectation, is the economic rent. The amount is 300,000. Lamai, for part B, there should be a bit of explanations. Right? You can say, yes, there is an economic rent which exceeds the transfer earnings or minimum expectation of one. That is 300,000. That should be the economic. Kunara, Dipna, are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dipna, shall we move on?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Uday, you can do this 2020 A-level paper question also. What is economic rent? Under what conditions or factors of production can earn an economic rent? This is a really creative question, right? You can do it yourself. Okay, the Lamai. Here, Lamai examiner expect you to draw some graphs and explain. Very creative, Lamai. In under what conditions a factors of production can earn an economic. Okay, the Lamai. We discuss economic rent. We discussed this part with diagrams. You can draw a few diagrams to explain. Okay, the Lamai. Make a very comprehensive and detailed answer for this. Don't say yes, no. I think two marks allocated for graphs, other 2 marks for explanation. Okay, right. You can get it done. Lamai, give me 1 minute, please. Lamai, if you don't have any question, we can move on. Okay, the Lamai. Lamai, are you done? Yes. Kunara, Dipna.
Done, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
1 minute, please, Puta. Lamai, what is the difference between transfer earnings? This was one of the past paper questions, right? Transfer earnings versus normal profit law. If they ask question like this, how would you answer? Transfer earnings and normal profit. You know the normal profit. Transfer earning mean? What does it mean, Lamai? Transfer earnings. I am not getting responses. Hurry up. Transfer earnings lamai. Yes. Kunara, transfer earnings. Yeah, that is the minimum expectation of factors of production. Uda, transfer earning is the minimum expectation of any factors of production. It can be labor, it can be capital, it can be entrepreneurship, it can be anything, any factors of production. Transfer earning is the minimum expectation of any factors of production, right? If that minimum expectation is not received, that factors of production will be shifted to another use. Normal profit, that also a minimum expectation, but not for all factors of production. Normal profit is the minimum expectation of the entrepreneur. Okay, the lamai. So transfer earning is for the minimum. It's all about minimum expectation of all factors. It's common for all factors of production. Normal profit is a specific, right? The minimum expectation of one specific particular factors of production, that is entrepreneurship. Are you okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kunara?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. It was one of past paper questions. Do this question, I think 2009. Yeah, that's it, Lamai. Okay. Please get ready for your exam. It will be on 5th of August. I'll let you know the time. Date is confirmed. Okay, Lamai, chapter 4 is completely done. It was very comprehensive and perfect and with past papers. Okay, Buddha, that's enough today. See you next day. Bye.
Thank you,
You
sir.
said
Bye.
goodbye.
Record.